17 southern governors, where they had a meeting just yesterday to talk about how they need to ensure they collect the value-added tax as against the federal government receiving the value-added tax. Well, we have public affairs analyst and executive director, Lead Network Africa, Chukwuma Okenwa, who is joining us live from Enugu State. This story is a story that affects quite a number of people when we're talking about value-added tax. Let's not forget that the value-added tax was increased. It was 5% and it was increased to 7.5%. And at some point, Nigerians were complaining at the time it was coming. Now that we have this, now there's a tussle between who should receive it. Should the state government receive this money, or should the federal government receive this money? Now, in time past, the federal government has been the one receiving it. They collect the money from all the states and then come back and share it back to all the states and the 3 tiers of government. But now the southern states have also made it clear by enacting and signing the anti-open grazing law. However, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has come under heavy attacks for pulling out of the agreement. We have Okenwa on the program this morning. Good morning, Okenwa.
Yeah, good morning.
All right, Chukwuma, good to have you back on Breakfast Central. This value-added tax matter clearly is not going away. It was Rivers State with Governor Wike and Lagos State. Now the 17 governors have clearly, I don't want to use the word caballed together, but where does this leave the FIRS in this matter, pending the court cases and, that is going to be following up from this one?
Well, let me state clearly that the demands of the state governors is apt, is timely, especially in a time where it is very visible that the economic blueprint that this current administration has applied ab initio is no more sustainable. The economy is at the moment very struggling, and every state governor wants to be in charge of all of their resources. There has been that advocacy for fiscal restructuring, fiscal federalism, and this is just one of it. This is commendable, especially considering the fact that when you talk about VAT, interestingly, this has to do with the consumption tax. So you can be talking about you consume things in your state and another person in another state is benefiting. Now we've had over time like some sentiments that should this be decentralized, some states that do not generate enough, like Lagos, like Rivers, like Kanu, will be left to struggle. But one of the things that some of those persons have not also considered is the fact that Lagos State is up to 8 times bigger than some states. We are talking about over 24 million people. Kanu State is also quite huge. In Anambra, you have lots of people. So people should be allowed, and you discover that the consumption will always be commensurate to the population. Consumption will always be commensurate to the population. And the higher the population, the more the challenges in terms of managing the people, in terms of ensuring that they have all of the facilities in that state. So it is a wise decision, and I stand with the southern governors.
Right, okay, well now the southern states have made it clear by enacting and signing the anti-open grazing law. However, the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma, has come under heavy attacks for pulling out of the agreement by the southern governors. How is this going to affect the region?
Well, let me say something very important. Hope Uzodinma is not bigger than the region and is not bigger than Imo State. He must realize that his governance, government derives legitimacy from the people, and he must respect the will of the people. I'll tell you the truth. Given the harsh realities, the havoc that open grazing has wreaked in the region, I mean, there is no government that has derived its legitimacy from the people that will let this whole thing continue. All we are asking is for a peaceful coexistence between the farmers and the herders. And how do we achieve that? We are saying herders are those into private business. It is not a federal government business, and as such should be treated as a private business. The governors are ready to give them lands for their ranching if they can pay for it. If it is owned by under the state government, government can sell to them the same way it sells to every citizen. Every citizen of Nigeria have the right to dwell anywhere in Nigeria and to do business peacefully. So we've not asked our Fulani brothers to leave the region. We're only asking them, if this is done this way, certainly it's going to be better. If we have a space for you where you can do ranching which is consistent with global best practices, there will be less of friction. Can you imagine If myself as a Southeasterner, can I leave Enugu, go to Kano? Maybe assuming you have a space where someone is grazing the cattle. Let's say you have 1 or 2 ranch, and I insist that I want to have a farm there. Can that happen? But we have a case of, cows, cattle, grazing on people's farms, destroying it, and then at the end of the day, when farmers want to show that these things ought not to be so, you begin to see like what we call clashes. But in the real sense, it is actually oppression. I can't be clashing with somebody that have AK-47.
Right.
It's not possible.
Okay.
Right.
Well, no surprise for Hope Uzodinma and Buhari. Don't forget, Buhari was there a couple of days ago. So once he pulls out, no surprise on the 17th.